Hello everyone and welcome back to Constructor Clash. I'm Spencer Howland, and this week we are playing Blue, White Control and Modern to Prep for the GP Detroit that I'll be doing with my co-hosts of Constructive Criticism. So I'm going to be on Blue-White for this Grand Prix. I'm really excited to play with Matt and Michael, two of my best friends in the entire world. Get to play in a team Grand Prix with them. It's going to be super dope. I'm really excited. So today we're playing a list that's based upon the third place list from the PTQ this weekend online. The list went 9-0 in the Swiss. Just really crushing it at the beginning of the tournament. And I'm just kind of really excited to talk about the deck. So, let's just get started. So, the list has 4 Celestial Colonnade, 4 Field of Ruin, 4 Flooded Strand, 1 Ghost Quarter, 1 Glacial Fortress, 2 Hallowed Fountain. I believe it's 6 islands, 2 plains, and 1 Polluted Delta. The important lands to talk about here are the Ghost Quarters and the Field of Ruin. It's actually the reason to play Blue-White over something like Jeskai. That and other reasons, but it's a huge benefit that you get to play 5 of these lands, and we're even playing Crucible of Worlds main, really helping us in something like the Control Mirrors. It's also great against some of the other decks, but, just Crucibling people with Field of Ruin, just eventually they're going to run out of basic lands in their deck, and you just get to Crucible them you just get to Field of Ruin them every turn, while costing you very little in the form, because you have so many basics in your deck. So it's a really powerful interaction, and something that this deck really, really likes. So this deck might look really weird to a lot of people, and hopefully we can talk about some of those card choices. So the first, let's kind of just go over some of these spells first. So we have 1 Ancestral Vision. So a lot of lists play 2. This one's only playing 1. 4 Serum Visions, 4 Path to Exile, 1 Oust. So the difference here is that we are not an Oust deck. So a lot of the blue-white control decks, they're playing 4 Terminus, 4 Ousts, and they're trying to win that way. And something that I found, and that's why I played at the PTQ that I started out 4-0 at this last weekend. But in playing the deck and testing, I really didn't find that I loved that. It was fine, I was happy to play that deck, but I really wanted more space for different things. One of the things I complained about Michael was I wish I had a more diverse set of sweepers. I actually had wished that I had more Supreme Verdict. He sent me the list, and I kind of just ran with some of the changes. So we have 1 Mana Leak, 1 Negate, 1 Remand, 1 Search for Azcanta, 2 Snapcaster Mage. One of the things that we'll notice here, only 1 Search for Azcanta. I think the Crucible of Worlds does the same job that Search is trying to do, while diversifying the way you're doing it and making it good in multiple matchups. So, Search for Azcanta is, pretty good. It's actually one of the best top decks in your deck, surprisingly enough. It's actually not that good of an early play. You don't want to be tapping your mana that early in Modern, but it's an amazing, amazing top deck late in the game. And once you've kind of gone through the resource battle with Field of Ruins and stuff like that, it gets really good. Crucible of Worlds does the same thing. It gives you that late game card advantage, letting you play a land every turn, letting you win the game through that, and rather than other means, that they try and terminate your Celestial Colonnades or dismember them or stuff like that, rather than Path to Exile, and make sure Celestial Colonnades keep coming back if they block, things like that. So, they're both serving this role of kind of being this alternative win condition that's in the form of card advantage. And that's why you're only playing 1 Search for Azcanta. The one thing that you're going to see here is the Wall of Omens. I don't know if this is great. It was certainly good for me last night against some different decks. The player that took 3rd said it was kind of a weird inclusion. He likes it because you can path it in matchups where they're both bad. So you get to draw a card, then path it to get ahead in lands to kind of ramp you, kind of for free, in something like the Control Mirror, which makes sense. It does do that. I'm not sure on it yet. The 3 drops we have is 1 Timely Reinforcement, 1 Detention Sphere, 1 Vendilion Clique, and the Crucible of Worlds. One of the things that I said to Michael pretty early was I kind of want a Timely in the main for a multitude of reasons. One of them being how bad Burn is. Wall of Omens helps there too. Different, it's actually not that bad against, other control decks. They play a Snapcaster Mage early, you Timely, all of a sudden you can start attacking to their Planeswalkers. Kind of things like that. So, Timely's just kind of this sweet card that you get to dig for. One of the other things that I really like about this deck is Serum Visions is just so much better in control than Opt is. Once you decide I'm just gonna find the cards I need rather than just try and do different things. The other thing is I can use my Serum Visions and untap with my Teferi. The other thing you'll notice is there's only 1 Teferi in the deck. He said that he did this all on purpose. There's lots of different cards in this deck as win conditions, things like that. Jace the Mind Sculptor is super powerful. He wanted more the 3 of those. And if you look, you have kind of everything you need in this deck. The 4 drops are 2 Hieroglyphic Illumination, 4 Jace the Mind Sculptor, 4 Cryptic Command, and 2 Supreme Verdict. I really, really like Hieroglyphic Illumination. I was surprised. I thought, when I first saw this list, I thought, this is a weird Magic card. having a modern control deck. But the thing is it kind of does the same thing that Opt was doing for you for your Terminuses, where you get a Brainstorm with Jace, put the Terminus back, and just draw the Terminus right away. You actually didn't need the Scry of Opt to do that, and Hieroglyphic Illumination allows you to kind of do that throughout the game, while also just being like this late game, like, I'm going to draw a multitude of cards and gather my card advantage in ways that other cards would have done in other senses. So I've really liked that. Cryptic Command being Cryptic Command is pretty great. One of the cool things you see with Cryptic Command is, like, in the control mirrors, what you'll do is, like, they'll play an early Celestial Colonnade, and you'll actually Cryptic it back to their hand and draw a card to put yourself ahead on mana and ahead on tempo, because they're then stuck playing another tap land for that game. So really tons of things to like about this deck. We have 2 Terminus, 1 Logic Knot, and that kind of fills up the main deck, and it kind of talks about most things that I want to talk about today with it. The Logic Knot kind of acting as like the other split between, you'll notice like there's all of the 2 mana counterspells, right? A Remand, a Negate, a Mana Leak, a Logic Knot. That's on purpose. I think that, like, the truth is they're all situationally good in different spots, and rather than, like, none of them outperforms the other. It's kind of like in football, I hate to use a football reference, when you don't have a great running back, but you have like 4 decent ones, you kind of just play all of them and, like, you know, hopefully they win you the game. That's kind of the same situation here. So let's go over the sideboard. So in our sideboard, I like to split this up into a couple of different things. So one of the things that we talked about was kind of how Burn's a bad matchup. We have that second Tiley. I changed his sideboard. I cut a Damping Sphere for the Baneslayer Angel. I think that just, like, having another win condition in your sideboard is really good. Having it specifically be Baneslayer Angel is even better. And I was pretty happy with the 2 Angels that I was playing before. Other than that, I have the same sideboard that player had. You know, kind of the standout things that we have here is Mana Leak, the extra Mana Leak over a Dispel, and an extra Wrath effect in the form of Settle the Wreckage. That's kind of it. That's all there is really to say about this sideboard compared to most blue-white sideboards. I think Celestial Purge is super powerful. Being able to just, you know, exile a black creature is good in so many matchups in Modern right now, for 2 mana. Having a suite of counter spells all over here for different matchups to kind of improve your counter spell suite and the way that you react to different decks is really good. Surgical Extraction is really important in the sideboard because it plays really well with Snapcaster Mage specifically. Being able to, like, Snapcaster Surgical something else back, where the second Surgical is basically free, is really good. While it only costs you the 1 Surgical Extraction, because Surgical Extraction can be kind of dinky. But other than that, like, I think this deck is super powerful. I think that it's one of the better decks in Modern. It was the best performing deck of the PTQ Online this weekend, and I'm excited to kind of test it against Mason and see how it does going into this Grand Prix. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. Enjoy this week's Constructed Clash, and we'll see you guys all next week for another deck before the show.